All right, Adidas going digital. Now, the Adidas Twitter account announced to its 4 million followers that it's partnering with huge NFT brands and influencers to branch into the metaverse. What a buzzword. Everybody loves it. They're working with Bored Apes, Punks, Comics, and the influencer G Money. And last week, they announced they are partnering with Coinbase as well. Joe, start you off on this one. The first time an employee suggested buying a digital ape for hundreds of thousands of dollars, did you think they threw them out of the office? And how do you think that meeting went?
I think that it really depends upon the leadership's mindset, right? Because, you take somebody like Gary Vee, who runs Vander Media. I think if you would have had that conversation with him, he would have been ecstatic, right? He would have been like, this is the trend. This is the way to go. Metaverse is here. He just had a massive talk with Zuckerberg, and, that whole video, I think, got like millions of views, right? So I think that new companies and even older companies and more established ones like Adidas are becoming more open-minded to this new next wave of technology and the metaverse, right? And if you watch that video that they tweeted about, and it looked really cool what it looks like they're going to be doing. The technology looks amazing. The video itself looked amazing. And I do think that, with Facebook making this first move, and now you click on Instagram, you click on Facebook, and it says Meta right there. This is for real. So I definitely do believe that more and more companies are going to start to take a serious look at this. And I think it's definitely here to stay. And it's going to be really exciting to see how things progress here in the future.
Absolutely. All right, let's flip this one over to Marin. Now, thinking about a company like Adidas, Nike has about 3 times as big a company as Adidas does. Do you think that for Adidas to be the first one to really shift into the space and make these big announcements, is this a way for them to gain some market share on a company like Nike?
I do completely think that. I was just talking about this earlier today, that I know Nike paired with Roblox, and I think that at the time that this happened, that could have looked like a good move, but it's a more stagnant move, and it's more rooting them in something that might be an immediate upside given how big Roblox is. But choosing a company that trades as equities versus something that is a crypto based company, I think I don't know, it's just less upside than someone like Adidas, who's partnering with Sandbox, and Coinbase connected with that as well. So I do think that this is maybe not a move that will differentiate them from Nike, and they're going to need multiple of these kind of plays to really, really stand out. But I think that versus Nike pairing with Roblox, it's undoubtedly a higher beta.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Marin. I appreciate that. Stash, I'm going to come to you on this next question because in my little note sheet here, it's got the word NFT, and I always love asking you questions about NFTs. So eventually you're going to be able to buy a pair of shoes on the blockchain. The tech is already there. Now, when it's common practice at the shoe store, will the average customer become interested in NFTs, or will there be no conversion there?
Yeah, I mean, you could already do that. There's already, several people who have done like cool NFT enabled shoes for different metaverses out there. And we've seen them from some big creators, and there's more on the way. I actually just did a video on my channel talking about this exact same concept like 2 days ago about the NBA players that are creating shoes on the blockchain. So yeah, I mean, I think that it's a cool concept. And the interesting thing about sneaker collectors, not just people who freaking wear shoes, right? or just like wear Nikes or Adidas, but actual sneaker collectors, people who collect these shoes. They're very, they're very dedicated, man. I mean, people will wait in line for hours and hours to like try and get that latest shoe release. So it has a lot of similarities to the NFT world and to what's going on here in crypto. So do I think that there's some conversion there? I definitely do. And I think where we'll actually start is, going into the store, and you're going to see some of these companies like Nike, like Adidas, like Reebok, who have already partnered with, metaverses and other NFT focused companies. They're going to start offering, NFTs along with the shoe you purchase. So that's the way you'll be able to get the NFT, and you get this limited edition ability to be able to wear it in, maybe the Sandbox or Decentraland or some of your other favorite metaverses, because you did buy the physical one, right? So it'll be pairing those two together, and have it being it kind of like a proof of ownership, but also a high utility for those things. And it's not going to stop at shoes. shoes are really just the beginning because they have this high collectability. But we're already starting to see this in the metaverse, and I've done multiple videos on this about wearables being just as important when it comes to metaverse utility, because everyone wants to stand out and look good inside these metaverses. And when everybody's in there, you don't want to be looking like the same dude over and over and over again, wearing the same exact what we call noob clothes, right? And so those things will help set people apart. So we'll see this expand into other things like big clothing brands, which we've already seen. Dolce & Gabbana have come on board. We've seen other companies that have jumped onto this and are doing some early stuff right now, and it's just barely starting to get together. So it's a great time to really be looking at this subject.
I absolutely agree with you. Just coming back from Decentral in Miami, just seeing all the stuff about metaverse and play to earn, wearables, all that stuff. It's going to be huge. When it's going to be huge, we don't quite know, but we know that is the headed direction.
Soon.
All right, soon, my man. All right, Gareth. Speaking of shoes and digital wearables and all that, do you think we'll ever see a point where people are going to spend more money on digital shoes than physical shoes?
I think yes, because I could totally see digital shoes going for tens of thousands of dollars if it's a shoe that someone wore at some point in history. So I do think that, but I think the amount of shoes. I mean, people still have to wear their shoes. But I think going back to Adidas, what you really have in this situation is it's a great marketing tactic too. I mean, you guys, everyone on this panel mentioned some amazing things, and you're so dead on. And then you just look at it from like the publicity they're getting just from this alone boost their brand. And again, think about how many people are into crypto right now and they're seeing this. It's like an awesome marketing tactic. So good job, Adidas.
Absolutely. Okay. Oh, speaking of, I wanted to one more thing. Crazy. I saw this. It was like a $200,000 Air Jordan that I think is going to somehow get its way into the metaverse. It was like gold and crystal encrusted. I saw it at Decentral. That was the craziest shoe I'd ever seen in my life. I guess there's 3 in the world. That company had one, somebody else has one, and then the owner of Nike's got one. It was really interesting. So check it out if you get the chance. You can't touch it, but you can look at it, much like everything else in the metaverse.